It's been a couple weeks, maybe even longer, since I put up one of these. So we'll see where we go. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I think I'm going to veer off a little bit from where I've been, and we'll see. Let me get into this and see where we go. A couple of weeks ago, I was visiting a dear friend of mine and his family. It was amazing to be embraced by a family with a teen and a near teen, breaking bread in a controlled chaos environment. It was amazing. Living in largely isolation and alone, this was a revelation. You could do this. You could have all this stuff going on and function and all the energy. It meant a lot. I hadn't seen it. It was jaw-dropping fun for me. Not sure they welcomed me being around. I am kind of like hermit-like and have a bad attitude at times, but we'll get to that. I was being toured around. I was, shut up, y'all. I know you're going to know where I'm going with this. Why me? Why was I there? Was I worthy of this love and kindness? Why me? Why me? Showered with this blessing of kindness and grace and love by an entire family. Of course, I went all deep in my, mind's eye to figure this out. Not sure I did, but we'll go from there. So here I was just sitting in the car with my buddy being driven around and marveling at it all. Small town, slow pace, folks being folks, considering this, why, and now for me. So I said out loud, probably a mistake, this is my redemption tour. I'm going to make the rounds to make amends for being me. Said as a statement of purpose. We all need purpose, right? I'm trying to get some. It was sincere. It was sincere sharing this leg of my journey to identify it. My buddy chuckled, which I did not expect. He is not a guy of, he does have humor, but he's polite and kind. So I didn't really expect this next sort of jab at me. Really? This needing a brand, this needing to brand things is just so unnecessary. Live in the moment. As I like to say, fair and legit. Fair and legit, I agree. I can see his point. To a point. It was warm, sunny, tree-lined streets, children laughing, the moment. I was living as seen from the car. I was living what was around me. I was living there. That in no way diminishes the love and sense of real family that was present. That and more was present. Why not just sit back and live it? I did, with my mind spinning. Self-doubt, self-worth. Those are the drivers of questions for me. That's what makes me think and question. I've been reading this memoir, and part of the reading was for a workshop I did in memoir writing, and I'm reading it now because I'm doing something else book-like. Anyway, the book is titled Easy Beauty, and it's by Chloe Cooper Jones. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. And she had a quote in it, and I think this quote kind of captures what I just said about branding and presence. And let me read it. When does the act of stating become the act of branding? And I guess stating means being in the present, stating who I am, being here, being current. Yes, sir, I was branding, not stating. And stating will be all themed out in the coming videos and posts that I do. So hang around. Since Donna died, I measured myself in her death, her love for me, and what this all means. I held the tape measure up to it all. I found solace in what was analysis. This was analysis. I wanted to look at it to understand, not the raw emotions that seems to be there, but I don't think I communicated. Not being present in what was going on. Again, the branding of the analysis. It became an exposition on my grief. Negligence, to not till the soil of my loss, to make what grows from me, that trauma, to grow something more, to flourish, to bloom. That's what I think I left behind. I thought I grew. I changed as I struggled. I wanted to share the light I found in my personal analysis of loss. That's what I had hoped to do. That's what, my presence was, but it was analysis. And as my buddy said, live in the moment. Though the moments have their moments. I know, I'm being obtuse. You'll get used to it if you haven't already. Said better, just try to find some knowledge for me and share that knowledge with others. That's what I was hoping to do through analysis and not the raw emotions. Though it was 2020 hindsight, I stepped around, I avoided rendering my garments of my heart. I think I really avoided it. And again, I may be, that's just my horoscope, me. I'm not emotionally effusive. I'm going to put up I think it's from TikTok. I found it on Instagram or maybe on X, formerly known as Twitter. Anyway, take a look at it, and I think that begins to speak to the point I'm making about Redemption Tour and me and what I need to just make amends for, at least for me.
If you ever get the chance to love a person who knows grief, do not let them go. You see, the thing about grief is that it's not exclusive. It consumes life. It taints everything a little gray. It won't hesitate to remind you that everyone and everything you love will disappear someday. But I've found that the people who carry grief love with a fierceness that no one else knows. They understand what's at stake because they've had to let someone go. So they remember the little things. And they show up when it counts. They know that life is rare. You won't have to spell it out, so don't take for granted the people who know loss, for they know more about love because they know what it costs.
Those of us who lost someone and grieve have a huge capacity for love. It's not hard to imagine. Those of us in the grieving community know how to love. We do that. We have this huge and powerful and deeply resonant capacity to love, to give love openly and outwardly, with abandon, unconditionally. I know that. I discovered that in me. I wrote about it frequently. This discussion, this here, is stop one on my redemption tour. Donna loved me into being. We loved each other viscerally when we were together, even when we weren't, for birthdays, for holidays, for events, on and on and on. Us alone, it was visceral. She died. I still loved her. Still do, in absentia, every day. I have not shied away from that placeholder, which makes others uncomfortable. Why? Why has he not moved on? Why hasn't he gained some kind of closure? I will refrain from addressing my whole discussion on closure and what it means. I may do that later. What I want to do, and others, to show my analytical self this analysis of grief and avoiding the reality of my loss and the life I have. There is meaning in life through death. Her death for me. She died. I lived. My ego became less and less about me, which was always filled with my own self-doubts and etc. Self-worth. What am I doing? My life, at least emotionally, expanded, became more about others, volunteering, crisis counseling, sharing my baking with neighbors and others, and generally just being available to others as I try. Those I can help and do for is what matters to me. It's what mattered. It was my outward avoidance, in a way, I guess, of me. Within that confine, it helps me to matter less to me. Less kindness and gratitude directed inward. And I know there's this whole talk about give yourself kindness, etc., etc. Like hell. And that is the redemption to her core. Can I give myself kindness? Can I be present? Can I do that? Redeeming my lack of self-worth by embracing or believing even a tad, even just a tiny little bit. But more, what I give to others is what is me, seeing as others do that I am of value, believing that, trying to embrace that and hold that, I think is what I'm trying to get to here. Ergo the trip, to visit my buddy, to feel deeply what others gave me. Unconditionally. They gave it unconditionally. It wasn't some brand that they were giving to. It was my presence and the presence of it all. And there's that word presence, which goes back to the Judy Comer video that I did. Presence. In closing, Donna died, I suffered, I hurt, and more. And more. Analytically, I wrote about it. Yet, in my isolation and loneliness, I grew more. I became the true person Donna loved into being. I know I've said that, but I think that I have. Yet, I refuse to see it, to accept it, to be it, because she's not here to benefit. She is there. I'm here. I need to want to redeem myself for her and what I could have done better when she was alive. And I know, there's one individual who may see this, who yells at me for that and thinking that way. That is my hurt. I don't care. Who I am now is what she dropped from her arms like an acorn. I've grown. I see that. Others tell me that. I hate myself for that because Donna will never find shade under the branches of the tree that has grown. She will not benefit from it. I imagine speaking with Donna. In fact, since I live alone, I do speak with Donna a lot. I think we all do. I'm just trying to talk to random people. It's kind of uncomfortable when I meet real people. I speak with her as I speak with those I crisis counsel, as I speak with friends, as I try to help others who are struggling. I listen patiently. I respond in kind. I tamp down my defensiveness at her complete and unfailing logic when I'm talking to Donna in my mind. I do that while she is somewhere else. I'm trying to give her back what I can't give her back in real life and what I may have failed to have given her when she was alive and in treatment. Or, I think better said, I know so much more now than I did before. I think there's a song that has that lyrics, and that kind of hurts me. You grow, you want to share it, you want to give it, you want to offer it to one specific individual or place, and I can't. It's just the way it is. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, ask a question. I got you. Thank you.